The Apple Watch Series 10 is here. It has the biggest display ever. It's also the thinnest Apple Watch ever, making it even more comfortable on your wrist, whether you're running, swimming, or sleeping. And it's the fastest charging Apple Watch, getting you 8 hours of charge in just 15 minutes. The Apple Watch Series 10, available for the first time in glossy jet black aluminum. Compared to previous generations, iPhone XS or later required. Charge time and actual results will vary.
Don't you love it when things are both easier and more affordable? Like when the rain washes your car for you. Or like when you save up to 10% by bundling your renters and auto insurance with USAA. Bundle with USAA and start saving. Get a quote today.
Bored with your boring cardio? Stop pedaling that snooze cycle to Nowheresville and try some cardio that's actually fun. Supernatural Fitness, available on MetaQuest. Isn't that right, Jane Fonda?
Cardio will never be boring again.
Sweat to the beat of thousands of chart-topping songs inside stunning virtual landscapes.
Bet your stationary bike can't do that.
Visit GetSupernatural.com and join the next fitness revolution. Supernatural VR Fitness, only on MetaQuest. Rated teen for teen.
My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking. Give me beer, whiskey, wine or gin. Anything to shake this mood I'm in. My football team's got me drinking.
Back at it again with another shade of blue. We are the KC Soccer Journal. My name is Cody Bradley. Full StreamYard video chat here. Carrie Robinson, Krabby is her name. Is that what your friends call you, Carrie?
No. Usually they actually just call me Kawie, like Cawwie, because I can't pronounce my R's sometimes.
Aw.
So, no, but I just like Krabby.
I like Krabby too.
Hey, Carrie, when I first saw that, I misread it. I apologize. It's like Krabby? What?
Yeah, I did that same thing.
Originally it was going to be C. Robbie, and then everyone just started calling me Krabby. So,
See,
here I am.
yeah. Thad also has his own name in here. Thad is taking applications for number 9s. Robert is here, and we also have fake Robert Russert. Is David Greenwald. I don't really know.
Robert was having a hard time logging in, and so I was just going to fill his shoes tonight. Now that he's here,
I was looking
it
at my
doesn't make as
phone,
much
so-
sense.
Well, we are all
You can
here.
change it.
Happy New Year to everyone. We're 8 days.
Except for Alan Pulido.
I appreciate it, David.
Everyone except for Alan Pulido. So everyone survived the winter apocalypse that we had?
Thriving in it, Cody.
You know, I was kind
Thriving in
of
the winter
disappointed with
apocalypse.
it, actually, Cody, to be honest with you.
You be honest
Yeah.
with me, what? I missed that. I'm
I
sorry.
wanted a real blizzard. That wasn't a real blizzard.
That was absolutely a real blizzard.
What?
That's the most snow that we've got in like 2
No, it was
decades or
not.
something. Yeah, it
Since like
literally was.
1963 or something.
I thought it was like
93.
Yeah,
It's
90.
not what I think of when I think of a blizzard. Sorry.
Robert's leaning into the accurate partial information.
My car
I
got
want big snowflakes. I want heavy, downpour of snow.
Oh,
It
this
was-
was even worse than that with
How
the
much
freezing
snow
rain.
How much snow did you want? It was like my kids were buried when
fine.
they went out to play.
No more snow than that. That was just over the line of too much snow for me. I can't even walk on sidewalks. I have to walk on the street with salt everywhere. My dog hates it.
My car got stuck and we had to walk 40 minutes, roughly a mile, on just ice.
And then make your dad go get the
Nice.
car. I saw that post.
Yes. Yes. Well, actually, so my parents picked me up because I was gonna go back to their place, and then as my dad drove my car back, got it unstuck. My mom and my car got stuck, and so we had to walk back, and then my dad walked back to the car to go get that one too.
Robert, is that blizzard enough for you? Come on.
Well, that may just be people who don't know how to drive. I mean, it could be that too.
Now,
I don't know
Robert-
these people.
That's definitely
Cody, you have to remember, Robert lives in a part of
I saw
I'm gonna
that,
use
Gary.
air quotes for the city that
Yeah.
is like so far on the outskirts of what one would consider to be Kansas City that he might have gotten different weather than the rest of us.
I was gonna say
Maybe it
don't
didn't
dox him.
hit rural Missouri the way that it hit the rest of us.
When you
You
say
know-
the city, does that mean he's on the outskirts of the metro or actually Kansas City?
It took me a long time to drive to his house.
Well-
I'm pretty sure I drove through a cornfield.
You're the one that's in BFE out there
I
in
live
Kansas.
in Overland Park.
That's out there.
I live in like right off of 435. I am like as in the middle of the 435 loop as you can get. Like you could walk to 435 in less time than it took Carrie to walk a mile.
I'm the only one here that gets to say I'm central because I live in Kansas City in Midtown. All of you are far away. Even Carrie's far away. You're by my office where we do the podcast, and that's so far. I hate that drive every day.
I'm now central. I live downtown.
Oh, what? I thought you lived by the studio.
No.
That's David.
Not even close.
That's me.
Oh, okay. All right, I messed
All right,
that
well,
up.
before we leave this weather topic, guys, the memes out there, I got to tell you about my favorite one. It's this picture, this meme, this video of this woman running. And she says, when you're running in snow, 5 inches feels pretty deep.
Oh, classic video, yes. And it's her significant other is there too, right? And then they slip and fall. Yeah, great video. Love that. Should we actually talk about this? The Alan Pulido era is over. It is official. I didn't know if that was actually going to happen. We hear these rumors every year, every 6 months that Pulido was going to go back to Chivas. It is official, and Thad is taking applications for number 9.
If you know anybody who can actually score and run and play defense and would be less than $9 million, please send resumes to me. I will forward them on to Peter Vermees and Mr. Burns.
I think those guys are more than $9 million and all play in the Premier League.
That's very true. All right, so let's actually talk about this. Of course, because it's MLS, we don't actually know any of these numbers, but it's being reported that Mr. Burns duped Chivas into paying Sporting Kansas City $1.5 million to make this happen. I am very impressed by that. And there's some discrepancy here. One of these tweets said he took a 40% pay cut from Chivas to do this. Carrie says she's the only one that sees this, apparently. So if anyone else is reading this and you see this tweet that says that he took a 60% pay cut, please let us know, because all of us are seeing 40%. Carrie saw it at 40, and then it was edited to say 60, but we're still seeing 40. Either way, Pulido had to take a major pay cut to go there, but he's going back to his spiritual home. And
Orlando?
Yes. I didn't know how many people would get that deep cut reference there. That was an old one, honestly.
I got
That's a Dom Dwyer reference.
Yeah, how long ago was that? Jesus, we're getting old. We've been doing this a long time.
That's when we duped them out of what? $1 million in allocation money.
Yeah, that kind of worked out pretty good for them, though. They squeezed the last bit of juice out of Dom Dwyer for a year or two.
I think they overpaid on that one.
Yeah. Okay. So, Robert, are you happy with this move, at least from the partial information that we have so far?
Oh, most definitely, Cody. I mean, come on, man. I don't know how much Mr. Burns had to do with it. I think it may have been more along Alan Pulido's, please get me out of here. I'm not wanted here. And I want to go back home. But yeah, certainly unloading that salary, getting a DP spot. And Alan just didn't look himself the past season. Let's admit, he looked okay when he came back the year before that from the injury, but last season he just wasn't himself.
Or what? Yeah, I mean, wasn't himself. That's fair. I'm not sure we ever saw who he was. It was just so streaky.
Fair enough.
There were 2-3 month periods where he looked really good, and we didn't really see much else of him other than last year when he didn't do anything. So I'm not sure I actually know what kind of player he is, but if you look at Chivas' Twitter feed right now, they think they're getting the star player back. Every single tweet is Pulido. So I don't know if they're just trying to make back that 1.5 in jersey sales or what, but I don't think they're going to get it back on the field, David.
No.
David,
no, they're not.
Who were you just talking to off screen there? That's why I went to you.
Oh, I was watching KU. We're recording during the KU basketball game, so I'm lean back watching KU play poorly.
Well, tell me what
everybody else still has more of a chance of winning than Chivas does with Alan Pulido.
No, Chivas may win with Alan Pulido on the bench.
On the bench.
Seeing out the last 10 minutes of a game.
Alan Pulido is currently winning because he just announced that he got 1 million followers on Instagram, but hasn't said goodbye to Kansas City.
Damn, he had 1 million followers, huh? I guess the return to Chivas would have done that. Yeah,
Good for him.
Whatever. Good for him. I don't need to hear a goodbye from that guy. And I also don't really blame. He probably doesn't. If we're being honest, he probably doesn't have a lot of love. Like Robert said, he was probably ready.
I think
to
he's
get
getting
out of here.
plenty of love. If the rumors are true, he was getting a lot of love.
I mean, from Kansas City fans. He
He was
seems
getting
like
a lot of love from Kansas Cityans.
he seems like the kind of guy who reads all of the tweets about him, which means he saw some pretty horrible things over the last year. And it wouldn't surprise me if he's like, all right, just get me out of here.
He's seen some pretty horrible things from Chivas fans in the past also, so I'm not sure if that's the deciding factor. I think more of the likely is that he knew that the team was probably not going to be very good this year, at least until they get reinforcements, and he wanted to go someplace where he had a chance to at least play. Maybe not play the 8, actually play a 10. So
Yeah, true that. All right, so before we talk about what it means on the current DP situation and what the financials are and what the roster looks like, I have to get to this Mike stat because it's honestly an astounding number here. Alan Pulido has played 108 out of 185 games. That is 58%. He played 58% of games over 5 years for the highest paid player in club history.
Injuries. I mean, that you sometimes get unlucky with that shit, but I don't think he was as bad as everybody wants to say he was. But yeah, that's just ends up being a really bad investment in the long term. It's rolling the dice and being unlucky a little bit. But
hey, injuries were one thing, but he also lost his starting spot for periods last year.
Yeah, that wasn't injuries. That was probably just being, I don't know. I mean, because didn't he lose his girlfriend over this? I mean, his wife over the season before that or something?
Look, at the end of the day, the team was so bad that I think Peter was just doing stuff, right? Like, play Pulido, we didn't win. Play Agata, we didn't win. Play them both, we didn't win. Put Jake Davis up there, we didn't win. I don't know that I would read into it that he lost his starting spot so much as just nobody was in form.
I think the real kicker was that he wanted to really, really leave when he found out he might end up playing right back.
And then really, really wanted to leave when he couldn't beat out Kyrie.
I know he couldn't do that.
It's
no one
Pulido,
can beat out Kyrie.
A few, how many shows ago was it, Cody, that you wanted to rant about how Alan Pulido ruined your club? Pulido at his peak is one of the best players to ever put on the shirt for us. Pulido at his best is up there with Felipe Gutierrez and probably Preki as truly elite.
Yep.
I think Felipe is a better player. Was a better player at his peak.
Hernandez.
Hey.
Felipe.
I like Felipe Hernandez. But there's an argument for it, right? that Pulido at his absolute peak was one of the greatest players to ever wear the shirt. He just wasn't at his peak for very long.
His peak was very peaky.
Also, David,
we got like a season's worth of good play out of him.
David, we can hear the KU game. I can hear the announcer on the KU game.
No, it's muted, so you absolutely cannot.
I'm hearing something.
It is muted.
Carrie,
do you want me to carry?
Something?
Do you want?
No.
I'm here. I'm listening to a commercial right now. Are you guys not hearing that?
No.
When nobody's talking, I can
what browser tabs do you have open?
Turn your TV off, Cody.
I'm in a dark room. Maybe it's somewhere. Maybe it's somewhere on my computer.
Are you hearing things?
Maybe it's somebody else in your house.
I got my headphones on.
Who's that behind you? Why are they holding a knife? Oh my God, Cody!
I almost turned and looked when you said that.
Yeah, don't look. We have this on tape.
Okay, Thad, tell me where we stand with the current DP situation. How many DPs do we have?
Well, if you go by last year, 2 of them, but they are both can be bought down. So technically, they can have 0 DPs going into this season. So they could do the 2 and 4 model, they could do 3 and 3, or they could just get nobody for a while and see how these 19 players can handle the first half of the season.
That's where I feel like we're headed.
I think that should be the
plan. Going to roll up 19 players, 2 of which are 16 years old.
Yeah.
Well, and 3 of them keepers. So I mean, you could fill out the bench with 2 keepers. It's been done.
Hell yeah.
Cody is still.
Camp's good with his feet.
Yeah, can you guys vamp for me while I figure out this freaking commercial I'm listening to? And driving me insane that none of you can hear. I'm gonna mute each of you one by one until I figure out who's doing this. That's not vamping.
Hey, we still with that roster though might be able to beat Miami in Kansas City in February. It's possible. So dream on, guys.
Yeah. So just for clarity's sake, keepers are Pulskamp, Shea Courtcamp. Defenders, Rosero, Fernandez, Volader, Ian James, Leibold, Ndembe, Shelton. Midfielders, Radoya, Davis, Basong, Tommy, Rodriguez. Forwards, Shallowy, Agata, Afrifa, and Vargas. That scares a lot of teams.
That scares nobody, which obviously was your point, Thad. But yeah, I mean, come on. It's got to be rolling out the next week or 2, right? Before maybe 3 weeks before we see some major signings, please.
I hope so. I mean, but who knows? I mean, they're if they're good at keeping it secret like they've been in the past, maybe they were waiting for these moves to happen. You know, there's a availability this weekend, so hopefully I'll be able to go and ask some questions. I just don't know who's going to be there to answer them. Right. It might just be the backup keepers. I really don't know if anybody's going to be there yet.
Somebody already tweeted out that Mr. Mike Burns is a legend. No. If he had anything to do with what happened, great, good for him. But you know what he does with
put him on the wall
is going to make
put him on the wall.
Is going to make determination whether he's a good signing or not, as far as our general manager, whatever you want to call him.
I've already commissioned the stained glass. He's already going up next to Ilya. But no, right. Okay, can we? Damn it, Robert! Now I've lost my spot. But I do have a question for you, Thad. Are Volader and Denbe still U22 players?
I believe so, yeah.
We could sign 2 DPs and 2 U22s.
We could.
As things stand today.
Yes.
If we buy down, the other 2.
Which they should be able to do.
Okay.
So yes, there is the possibility of bringing in some talent. But so far, the only additions to this roster from last year are the 2 homegrown players. The Current has made more moves today than Sporting has the entire offseason.
That's a good way to put it.
Okay, I've decided that the culprit is Carrie through my investigative research. I muted everyone on here, and when I don't hear it, it's when I mute Carrie.
I am sitting in silence, and I live alone.
It's a tab. It's a tab on your computer.
Carrie,
what's the behind you?
We all feel sorry for you now, Carrie.
I have 3 tabs open.
It's something on one of your tabs then.
Carrie, it's time to take the Christmas tree down behind you. I can tell you that.
Well,
that's a Charlie Brown Christmas tree almost.
I have a big one.
No,
in the corner.
it's nicely shaped. It's not a Charlie Brown Christmas tree, but it is like a grocery sack covered tree. I mean, you can fit it inside a grocery sack with no issues whatsoever. That's how you store it, probably. I don't blame you. There's one of those sitting over there too that never came out of the box.
I'm glad to hear you have a bigger tree over there because
I do.
I was gonna feel bad for you
right.
at that point.
I have one ornament on it, and it is Lola Bonta twerking.
The Selly Queen, love it.
We need to see a close up of that.
Okay. So the DP situation that I'm not gonna lie, I really wasn't listening to that because I was desperately trying to figure out this problem.
Cody, a number 10, man. They've been talking about it for a long time. It's got to happen, right? It's got to happen now.
Yeah, I was having that conversation with a friend of mine, and he was like, "We haven't had a number 10 since Gadi Kinda," and I was like, "Man, yeah, that's so long ago. That was that was one season ago. Why does it feel like it's been 10 years since we had a number 10?"
Because Gadi was not the number 10 that you think of when you think of a number 10.
Yeah,
well, also,
that's true. But he was doing it. He was functioning, and he would score goals, and it worked better like that.
We also had limited Kinda. We had a great year with Kinda. Then he was out for an entire season, and then he came back and was like 40% for half a season, and then he was really good for half a season, and then he left. So it wasn't like we had like our talisman, or like our star number 10 for like a long time.
We haven't had a talisman in forever.
Benny.
Oh man.
Plus last year was just really long because like that much loss is like dog years of losses. Like 1 month seems like 7.
True that.
You know, if we do want to reminisce on a positive side, talking about Gotti, talking about Allen, I mean, the playoffs against St. Louis last year, I mean, that is the last moments of glory, right?
Yeah, that was the last moment of glory. And it was great. That goal was amazing. I think he had an assist in a 2-game match as well. And Thad, your name here is reminding me that the assistant coach for Sporting Kansas City is just a LinkedIn job post right now.
One of the assistant coaches. There's more than one.
Is that how that works for all teams? Can you just get on there and look at on LinkedIn for Sporting Kansas City technical director when we were looking for Mike Burns? Like, do all teams operate like that?
It's also
well, I think it's a legal thing. You have to post the opening, right?
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah, but teams do post that stuff out there in different places.
Yeah,
I mean, I just saw a link the other day of all the NWSL job openings.
Okay, I'm sorry for that aside. I didn't mean to get. We can still do the good moments from Alan Pulido. Robert, you mentioned
I'm checking to see if I'm qualified. Hold on, I'll let you know.
The salary. They don't mention the salary on there, which I liked.
I do have coaching experience.
With what age group was that, David?
They were 3, thank you very much. It was like herding cats. I'm sure I could get a group of grown adults to run in the same direction at the same time.
I just didn't know. I don't think Cody's that crazy. I'm now hearing the music occasionally.
Thank you. I promise you it is you. If we get done recording this and our audience can hear this, I'm gonna be so mad. Actually, no. At this point, because we've just been talking about it, I hope they can hear it. But I'm sorry for the audience if you have an annoying thing in the background somewhere. I do apologize. So
okay, guys.
Okay. We're still derailed. Go ahead.
I'm not that unqualified.
Yes, you are.
No.
I can say that. I can say that with the utmost confidence. Yes, you are.
You're not qualified to be Robert, much less a coach.
Okay. Wow.
I haven't even.
Well, considering I have many more years experience of coaching than you, David, that's a true statement that just made.
Let me read to you what they're looking for in terms of skills and experience. Minimum of a high school diploma or GED. I have a graduate degree.
Got it. I'm not eliminated yet.
Experience playing soccer for a winning high-level team preferred. 1, define those phrases. 2,
it's only preferred.
That's only
true.
prefer.
That's true. I'm not eliminated yet.
3, this is where I'm out. Minimum of 5 years coaching a professional level team. And then 4 is a USSF A license and a UEFA A license. Preferred. Not mandatory, but preferred. But then I'm back in. Strong knowledge of current trends pertaining to training philosophies and tactical ideas. Full and extensive knowledge of the rules of soccer. Knowledge of MLS roster rules.
Yeah, you're
proficiency in English required. I have a strong grasp of English. And can lightly dabble in some other languages.
Apparently
Proficient
not, David,
in Microsoft Office, including Outlook, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and Calendar.
What?
And that's my favorite part of this, because I love this idea that Pep Guardiola comes available and they're like, sorry, Pep, you can't work Excel and Outlook. You're done.
He's like, I have never done anything on Microsoft Word and I refuse. So we can't sign him.
David, the fact that you think you're out on like 2-3 major conditions and then you're back in for something small, just, classic David Greenwald.
For the acknowledgement of strong
thinking inside the box is why the club isn't doing so well. Maybe you get a guy who's good at FIFA, who loves Football Manager, who can sit in the press box and see things with my eyeballs. I'd be fine.
Sorry, Carrie. Whenever David gets going, it's hard to get in there. I know. What do you got?
I was just gonna add on and say if he's back in for all the tactical skills and management, then just send in this podcast.
There we go. We're spot on with all of that, even without Mike here. Okay, no, I do want to hear some positive memories. Thad, I bet you can come up with something good. I'll go with, since Robert mentioned the very last one, I will go with his first game when he scored a goal. And it was a very well-taken goal. It looked like he did it in his sleep. It was very easy. And I thought, holy crap, we found our guy. This is going to be glorious. And then I believe the pandemic hit and the world shut down. So, Thad, what do you got? Give us a good memory from Alan Pulido.
Mine will be actually not on the field. I just remember him actually being a relatively good guy to talk to. He wasn't like the most outgoing, but when he needed to talk to media, he was actually really friendly. He did that stuff. A lot of people always thought that he doesn't care about the club, but he was in the locker room when he was injured, coming in and talking to the guys and trying to pep them up and stuff. And I just thought he was actually a really good teammate in that regard. Maybe something went sour that we don't know about. Maybe it was just time for him to go home, but maybe it was Mike Burns just doing the Mike Burns things and getting rid of the guy who could help. So yeah, I could also imagine, sorry, I'm going back now a little bit.
Do it.
I could imagine if they said, "Hey, Alan, we just want to move on from you," he could be pissed and not be saying thank you to the club now. May not be as much as he hated Kansas City. He seemed to love it when he was here.
Yeah.
So
I will miss his fashion.
Car.
And the car. Yeah. We lost Johnny Russell and Alan Pulido this year. The fashion is going to take a major hit. That was always a fun thing. Remember when he showed up in that puffy white coat, the whole all-white outfit of Balenciaga for Media Day? We'll never get that again. And we'll never get that again. I'm going to miss that from him. David, do you have a positive memory?
Mine is also going to be an off-the-field thing, but going to the locker room after the games and watching to see who gets the aux, like whether it's Daniel or Johnny, or like you could always tell when Alan got to the locker room first because he would always be playing like Latin music. And then there was one game, I can't even remember specifically what game it was, but he got there first and Johnny came in from the presser and Alan like said something to him, but was basically like, suck it, or listen to like Bad Bunny or whatever. And it was just like,
I got there first.
It was when the team had gotten into a hot streak and we were like making our crusade towards the playoffs. And it was just really funny. And it goes to the idea that had of like, he did seem to get along with all the guys in the locker room. He didn't seem to be like a locker room cancer. Maybe stuff happened that we don't know about, but at least in that moment, he seemed to be a lot of fun. And it was just this like little stuff like that that's actually really fun to see.
I know this sounds weird to say, but winning makes everything easier. I know it's very obvious, but even for us, like all of this other stuff after the game, all of that is just so much easier. It's so much more fun. It makes me happier to do it. And in the middle of these losses, when everyone's just down in the dump and they're getting these same questions and how do you fix this, and they're angry to be talking and there's no music, and yeah, we got to get back to these winning ways. I'm longing for it. Carrie, you are the one that brought this up. We should do our favorite moments of Pulido, and you're being silent. Do you have a favorite moment from Alan Pulido?
I mean, other than, the selfies that he occasionally posts with his tongue out or just some strange poses. Love those. Gonna miss those a lot. May not get that back either. But I think we have to do a big shout out to that run that he had last year of goals and essentially what got him that contract extension and kind of pushed us into getting into that last playoff spot last year.
Yeah, that's fair. Except it wasn't last year. At this point, that was 23 when he did that. Okay. So that was too long. But
it's still 24 for me.
But yeah, that's what I mean. Those were those 2 months. The dude was phenomenal. He was he was lighting it up. Of course, we would sign him again. We were all on board with it. Yeah,
that's what got him comeback player of the year as well. And honestly, at that point, if we didn't sign him, everyone's gonna be mad.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. If we didn't, they could bring someone else in that didn't work, or it would take a year to get it just seemed like the easy decision. Thad, you were about to say something?
No. I was not, but if you'd like me to say something, I will.
Oh, sorry. I thought that was a lean into the mic.
No, I was actually moving the mic back. I was moving the mic back a little from me so I could do heavy breathing without you hearing it. I wanted you to hear the music or whatever.
Sorry, audience, aren't we doing so good on StreamYard? We're always very good at this. How about this one? I have another one. Remember the Messi game at Arrowhead? I'm pretty sure Alan Pulido left that game with like 3 Messi jerseys.
He fought for this.
and there were like at least 3 other players that got them as well. Like from that game, there were like 5 Messi jerseys.
At least.
Game never happened. I don't know what game you're talking about. That game never happened.
No, I will never forget it. It happened, and I'll never forget. I saw Messi score a banger with my own 2 eyes, and I will never forget it, and you'll never take that from me, David.
You cheered harder than you ever have for any sporting goal.
No, I didn't, because we're in this silent press box, this cavernous, massive press box at Arrowhead. Admittedly, I was a mile away from him, because that's how big it is there. But
I booed Messi.
Good. Okay, see, that's good. You were were you in the crowd?
Yeah.
That's good. See, that's what I
had I had some little kids in front of me, like covering their ears. I'm like, "Can you stop?" And I was like, "No." I'm booing Messi.
Good for you. We should boo Messi.
Yes.
He may be the greatest player of all time, but when he's playing against Kansas City, he sucks. He's shit.
Don't care.
He should be tackled. He should be hurt.
If I was in the cauldron, I would have booed just for the sake of it, just for our team, and just so he knows.
I don't believe that for a second. I don't believe that for a second.
If I was in the crowd, I absolutely would have.
No, you absolutely. I don't believe you for 1 second, Cody.
Okay, here's what would have happened. It would have gone in. I would have been like, "Oh, boo, boo!" I would have remembered. Everyone would have been mad. I would have started booing. No, I will never forget that goal. I was watching it. You could like kind of see it happen before it happened. I also had there was like a college kid next to me that is not normally at Sporting KC games. I think he might have been something for KU, maybe like the KU newspaper or something like that. But he was sitting next to me, and he was not holding back the whole game. I was like trying to remain professional there, and that goal went in, and I was silent. I just leaned back in my chair and just sat there for a moment, taking it all in. I will never forget it, and David, your hatred will never take it from me.
I'm pretty sure my head went to my hands whenever I watched that goal.
And the
Messi had a
opposite reaction.
Messi had a great assist and a great goal. Let's admit it. But yes, Eric Tommy outplayed Messi that night.
Yeah, Tommy.
That game never happened. I have no idea what you people are talking about. I've watched every single Sporting KC game since 2012. Every single one. That game never happened. I have no idea what you're talking about.
And is this because it was at Arrowhead, or are you not acknowledging?
Yes.
Okay, right. So we are going to play Messi this year, though, right?
I will play the team that pays him, whether he will take the field or not.
That's very true. I didn't even get that. Yeah.
He has other things to do besides be in this cold ass weather, man.
I hope he retires the day before he comes here, just to break your heart, Cody.
Like being honored by the president. But he wasn't even there. He got the highest civilian honor from our nation's government, and he didn't even show up to the thing.
He got the Medal of Honor?
No, that's a
civilian.
The civilian honor.
That would be the highest military one. Would be the medal, the Congressional Medal of Honor. The highest civilian one, I think, is the Presidential Medal or something like that.
Thanks, Dad. Semper Fi.
Hey, Robert, what's your favorite Pulido moment?
Hi, Carrie. How are you?
Yeah.
What's your favorite moment?
Robert,
Messi or Pulido?
Well, number one, I do have a Mike stat that I'm going to throw out here because you guys are talking about, at his prime, Allen was one of the best.
Hold on, let me get the sounder. Let me get the sounder. Hold on.
Okay.
Mike stat.
Per 90, Alan Pulido, 0.69 points per 90, which is far and above anybody else that I looked at for these foreign signings. So there you go on Alan's side. Another thing on Alan's side, a great memory of his more was when I was talking to Robert Castellanos about him before Alan made his comeback in the article that I did. And just Robert was just so complimentary of the intense, dedicated player that Alan really is, how he loves the game as well. So that was pretty cool. But when he first was announced and they had the season ticket member event, I think that year 2020 was in the garage area. But Alan Pulido with a bodyguard. I had never seen a Sporting player with a bodyguard before.
Yeah,
I think there were 2 actually. It was just bizarre.
He's worried about kidnapping.
Yeah, so
Dom had
that's one of my favorite moments.
So just clarity, that was 0.69 points per game he played, or point per game
90.
he was supposed to
per
have played?
90. Per 90. If you average out how many minutes he played divided by 90, and go from there.
And give us that number again.
It was 0.69
nice
points per 90.
But you're an idiot.
I didn't even mean. I was legitimately asking what the number was, and then I heard it.
You're an idiot.
If you want to round up, Cody, 0.7.
It's like we're recording this at midnight, like not 9 o'clock.
This is more like an after dark
recording.
podcast.
We're just rusty from StreamYard, I think. Also, Thad mentioning the kidnapping threw me off, and I just wanted to move right past it, or I'm gonna get stuck on it. Do we have anything else?
No. So Cody, I heard that you have a theory about the kidnapping.
I know. I don't. I have no theory. I'm not ready.
Kidnapping? What kidnapping? What was Alan accused of? What did he do? I mean, no, seriously.
I was trying. I'm not doing that. I'm gonna get in trouble. I'm not ready to.
With who? Is Alan gonna be mad at you and not talk to you now? I don't think that's the problem.
Okay. There are questions surrounding the kidnapping. Okay. They're just laughing at me because they know I'm stranded here. There are questions about the kidnapping. I have friends in Mexico, and when they heard that I was from Kansas City and that we got Alan Pulido, what this guy said to me was, the guy who faked the kidnapping? And I continued looking from there. There are just some questions. I'm not saying he faked a kidnapping, but there would be a conspiracy. I've seen a bunch of theories on it, okay?
Pull out the cork board with all the articles and the strings connecting all the dots.
That you can't see. It's just off screen right here. I have that, the red yarn stretched all the way across the room.
And in a future podcast, we're going to talk about fake moon landings and the Earth is flat.
I mean, I do think one of these theories is more credible than the other.
Yes, exactly.
It probably is more credible, but it still is a theory that I've never seen anything that said, oh yes, it really happened. Yes, I mean, I've seen people say it, but no evidence of it. So
yeah, if you Google it, there are a lot of stories from very reputable sources talking about it. But yeah, there are some funny things going on there. Carrie, oh God, do you want to say something about this? I know you feel the same way I do, and you're just laughing at me. I'm doing this delicately. He very well could have been kidnapped, and it would be a horrible thing, and I don't want to do this to the guy.
You're making fun of his trauma.
I just can't believe this is going on for so long.
I can't believe it is either. I wasn't ready for this.
You literally said you weren't going to talk about it, and then went on.
I know. No, they pulled it out of me.
That's why I'm laughing.
So Cody, how are we doing on time, man? How are we doing on time?
What's more controversial, Alan Pulido's blonde hair or Alan Pulido getting kidnapped?
The blonde hair.
I urge people to look into it. It's just an interesting story.
Be curious, folks. Be curious.
Just be curious. It's a very interesting story. If it happened, very, very interesting. If it didn't happen, holy shit. So I think we need to take a break.
Really?
And then we're going to come back.
About 10 minutes too late.
I'm going to gather myself. And then
Cody!
Robert prepared something. We talked about something in a previous pod, and he followed up on it. Look at that.
Yeah.
So
I've got 4 sheets of paper here.
We're going to talk about, we're going to look at all the foreign signings where Alan Pulido stacks up on that list. And maybe hopefully it'll inspire some confidence for what is to come after him. So we'll be right back.
This episode is brought to you by Amazon. Sometimes the most painful part of getting sick is the getting better part. Waiting on hold for an appointment, sitting in crowded waiting rooms, standing in line at the pharmacy, that's painful. Amazon One Medical and Amazon Pharmacy remove those painful parts of getting better with things like 24/7 virtual visits and prescriptions delivered to your door. Thanks to Amazon Pharmacy and Amazon One Medical, healthcare just got less painful.
Bored with your boring cardio? Stop pedaling that snooze cycle to Nowheresville and try some cardio that's actually fun. Supernatural Fitness, available on MetaQuest. Isn't that right, Jane Fonda?
Cardio will never be boring again.
Sweat to the beat of thousands of chart-topping songs inside stunning virtual landscapes.
Bet your stationary bike can't do that.
Visit GetSupernatural.com and join the next fitness revolution. Supernatural VR Fitness, only on MetaQuest. Rated Teen for Teen.
All right, we're back. I've gathered myself. Plenty of time to gather myself, and I feel much better. Robert, thank you very much for doing some research for us here. We did talk about this one time. Someone just alluded to that foreign signings never seem to work for this team, and we weren't so sure about that, so you looked into it. So what do you got on the foreign signings since 2014?
You know, I don't know about never have worked for Sporting Kansas City, but it's certainly a spotty history for sure. I mean, think about, Michak Jerome, Antonio Davalli.
Wow,
Jorge
I love these
Claros.
names. This is going to be a fun game. I like this.
Bernardo Honor, Nino Coelho. I didn't say his first name right there. Nino Coelho.
Nuno.
Ever Alvarado.
Wait, what?
Emiliano Amor.
Argentinian.
Luis Marin.
Hold on, go back to the one before Emiliano.
Oh, yeah? Ever Alvarado?
Yeah.
Who? I
Honduran?
I've no
Honduran
memory
international?
of this player.
He was like a left back, I think, or a right back from Honduras.
Exactly. Well done.
What
dude.
year are we talking? Why do I have no memory?
2016?
He mostly
got it
played with
here. Let me
Swope Park.
see.
Oh.
Right, 2016. Yes, David. Well done.
Oh my God, so good.
Yeah. Okay. Let's continue on. Martin Stubel. Anybody remember him?
Yeah, brief.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Igor Juliao. Igor.
Igor.
Loved Igor.
Loved Igor.
Yes.
Wait,
man.
which time? One time was more successful than the other.
Right.
It was. Yeah.
Well, I'd say one of those times panned out.
All right. Who can finish the last name here? Abdul Ratawabe.
Oh,
I think you nailed it.
Yeah.
I think you
Watubaye?
nailed that.
Yeah.
Guatubaye.
Okay.
Yeah, it was
Close
a
enough.
G. That's
Close
right.
enough.
He was awesome.
Yeah.
I mean,
Was
just
he?
for the name.
Until he wasn't.
Okay, for the name.
Also, hold on.
All right, I
Fun
got you
fact
there.
on Guatubaye. Someone on our YouTube channel, we don't post a whole lot on there historically. Someone posted an interview with him, and that is our most viewed video. What country is he from? Can you remind me?
Rwanda, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think that was it. So yeah, he must be a big star over there. And also, who was the Malaysian Messi, Thad? The Wan Kuzain Wan Kumal. That's another just
He's from Illinois.
well, but he's very big in
Right.
Malaysia, and that was
Is he still?
actually I think that was our highest viewed video, and it was just these two foreign players that never did a lot, or I never
Not
would have thought
foreign.
were that famous, but the
Illinois is part of America, Cody.
Kuzain was born in Carbondale, Illinois.
God damn it.
He
Technically
He would have been a
homegrown?
homegrown for St.
He was
Louis
a
City if they
homegrown player.
existed, if they had
Yeah.
a history.
Well,
With-
I mean,
of Malaysian
technically Daniel
descent.
Shalhoub's a homegrown also, and he is foreign. But
I was just trying to get the
Kuzain is-
point across. Players who are famous around the world are good for our YouTube channel, so let's keep that up.
Why did we not keep Abdul Guatubaye?
we traded him for Benny.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
And
To
then
get
he
Benny
played
back.
a ton for the Colorado Switchbacks,
And
then went to like Macedonia or something.
Benny was so anxious to get out of Colorado, he paid for his own airfare to get to Kansas City before the trade was official. He showed up to
Wow.
training before the ink was dry.
Wow. Have you ever
That's how I love
divulged
Benny.
that information before? That's a good story.
He's divulged it.
Oh.
Okay, I would just like to point out, I was going off memory. I have now subsequently looked it up about Guatubaye. He went to Colorado, played for the Switchbacks, and then he went to Shkupi, which is a club in North Macedonia,
Well done. You nailed it.
Nailed it, David. Nailed it.
and is currently playing for a different club in Macedonia.
Okay, so
Is there a
Robert,
South Macedonia?
Yeah.
Is
Do you,
there?
do you actually want to know why it's called North Macedonia?
Actually, I kind of do, but
very
I don't-
okay.
I wanna
If
see
you
it
can
come
do
down.
it quickly.
Buckle up, Cody. I'll go real fast. So, North Macedonia used to just be calling themselves Macedonia. Macedonia famously was part of Greece back in antiquity. The Greeks did not like that very much. And they were like, hey, you guys are like claiming this thing. It's actually ours. There was a big, to do about it. And so at one point, the Macedonians were like, okay, we'll be North Macedonia. And they're like, okay, good, deal. Everybody, problems are all solved. We've all reached this agreement. North Macedonia got a new leader who was like, we're cutting the North out of this. We're Macedonia again. And now there are more diplomatic. Oh, I dropped my pen. I'm sorry about that, Cody. And now there are.
Keep going. You're doing great. Keep going.
Subsequently problems. And this has been a minute in international diplomacy with David.
And we all know somebody from Macedonia.
Vlaco would be so proud of you right now.
I knew Carrie knew that. She'd already typed it in there, but I knew she knew that beforehand.
David,
all right, so I have no idea
You sing
of all
North
the names
Macedonia.
I mentioned.
I think of Vlaco.
So yeah,
But did I mention
Robert?
I mention Peterson Joseph? Did I mention him?
Oh no, I don't
Love
think
Peterson
that you did.
Joseph. Is he Haitian?
So
Wasn't he the Haitian Zavi?
Was he Haitian?
Yes.
So Robert, are we supposed to hear that list and just like give you a thumbs up or thumbs down on if this was a success or not?
No, I have some organization to this, Cody. Believe it or not. Believe it or not.
It's hard to do on this show, isn't it? When you're trying to do a thing, it's freaking hard when fake Robert Russert is in the chat watching the KU game.
It's almost like he's kidnapping the whole show.
Is he though?
So
But did
okay.
he really?
Yeah, that was good. So laugh if you will.
He has accomplices.
Jeez. I have used
The government was involved.
Robert is so done with us.
The mayor of the city is involved in the conspiracy. Continue, Robert.
Any more interruptions?
No, that was
Anyway,
it. I'm done.
I have used as our moderately successful foreign signing benchmark as Gerso Fernandez.
What?
Okay.
Moderately successful?
Yeah, he won an Open Cup in 17. Okay. He averaged 0.47 points per 90, which is a pretty good average, almost half a point per 90. Not bad. So he's kind of the moderately successful. So everybody's either below or above Gerso. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So all those guys.
Okay, so he's just our median benchmark. Okay, I'm with you.
Yes, he is. All the guys I mentioned previously, to me, I would consider washouts. Foreign signings after 2014 that didn't work out so well. And that's quite a lengthy list. And I'm not even going to mention some of the retread Americans, Bobby Convey, Brad Davis, Justin Matt, Ben Sweat, Kellen Rowe, Brad Evans, and Gideon Zalelum that didn't work out either.
Oh my God. So many names that you just said gave me a physical reaction in my body. Ben Sweat, Justin Mapp. Oh God.
Anyway, and I cheated because some of those were previous to 2014. But anyway,
So
here's what I've listed
Gideon
as
Zalelum as a domestic. Gideon Zalelum, who's actually born in another country.
Right, but it
wasn't U.S. international. Whereas Hussein, born in Carbondale, Illinois, Cody's like, love those foreign love those foreign players. Love the foreign players.
Robert,
like Hussein
make him stop
from Illinois.
talking. Make him stop talking. You keep talking.
You have the mute.
All right. Now, on the tweeners section, this is what I labeled tweeners.
Okay.
See if you agree if these guys are tweeners. Not moderately successful, not Gerso level, but not washouts. Okay? Here we go. Botan Barath.
Oh, wow. Okay.
What?
Okay.
A tweener. A tweener. Okay. All right. Uri Rosell. Would you put him in Gerso's category or no?
He's above. No?
He's above.
Thad,
most
audio
would say
medium.
above.
Thumbs down don't work on a podcast.
You were talking. I was trying to be nice and not interrupt. I tried.
Hey, he
All
won
these
2
people
cups. He won an MLS Cup and an Open Cup.
It is a team sport. Many people won. Iko Paro
Was he
won
on
an
the
MLS
field
Cup.
for
He
it?
played like no minutes.
Hey, I'm just saying he was on the team. We won the cups.
Yeah, we played that MLS Cup without Yuri, didn't we, Thad?
After he
like
got
all
hurt,
but a couple
yeah.
minutes of it. Yeah.
That second stint really hurts him though.
Yeah, that's true.
It
Are we
does.
basing it on that? Because the first time around was a revelation.
I think there's a lesson to be learned here. No retreads.
Yeah. Except
Honestly,
Benny Fellhauer.
So much of Yuri
Oh, yeah, he was
came
so
from
good
one
second time
game.
around.
Roger was
Yuri
Okay.
had one game where he had like more passes than the other team combined.
Yes, I remember. I think it was against Colorado.
And like
He-
shortly
Alright.
thereafter we sold him. But like Yuri made his reputation on like 6 games.
Yeah.
The first time.
There you
around.
go. All right,
Half
next
of those
one.
passes were to himself.
Jimmy Madronda, above Gerso or below?
above.
Below.
Yeah, I'm just going off emotion on that one.
I love Jimmy Madronda.
Where
but
is
below.
Jimmy? What's he doing now? Hold on. Keep going, Robert. I got it.
All right. Cristiano Lobato. Tweener.
Below.
Yeah.
Agreed.
He's
Agreed.
below.
These all are that I have categorized as below. I'm just seeing your guys' opinion.
He had so much potential once he got going, but he got going and everything dropped because he got hurt.
Yeah.
So.
Great beard, though. Very handsome man.
All right.
Hold
Very
on.
short stint with the club. Yes, go to.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Jimmy Madronda is back in Colombia with Deportivo Cali.
Okay.
Yeah, he got cut from his last MLS team that was like, I forget where it was at.
Winston Reed.
For Sporting, below. As a for a career, better.
No, I'm just saying with Sporting. Yeah.
Below. He played 4 games.
He wasn't a washout, but he wasn't moderately successful. Okay. Well, our Johan Croise.
Oh, this is a good one.
Below.
That's not sure. That's looking up at the ceiling.
Again, Gerso's per 90 was 0.47. Johan's was 0.36 per 90.
Yeah, he's below. I just like being able to talk about him again.
Gerso, however, always got to play wing. Johan got to play wing, midfielder, and outside back.
Yeah.
And a lot of it off the bench because they signed somebody ahead of him when he was supposed to be starting. So there's a little bit of if there. And I know people hate on poor Johan.
Yeah,
he was a basket case, but I would put him below Gerso, but I don't think it's such a cut and dry thing as he's terrible.
Yeah, so when we signed him, they then later signed Felipe Gutierrez. And can you imagine that season if we didn't have Felipe Gutierrez and Quase was our number 10? I think the best he played was at outside back.
I think.
All right. Speaking of outside backs.
Yeah.
Speaking of outside backs, Luis Martins.
He played better with Vancouver after us than he did with us, I think.
You think so? Yeah.
That is
lastly,
the one Sporting player I dislike the least. Like
Why?
strong passion. He just annoys me. Watching him annoyed me. Watching him in every
rating Gerso way too high. I have like really fond memories of Gerso.
My memory of Gerso is he would do amazing things, get in front of the goal and not be able to score. He'd mess it up right at the last minute.
So he's a typical Sporting player. Anyway,
precisely.
Latif Blessing in the tweener category.
I drink them like almost similar, like on the same level.
Yeah,
Gerso and Latif, really?
David has gone below for every single one of these. So is Gerso like your highest?
Well, they are in my category. So Dave agrees with me. So good job.
Of the people that he's listing below, like Latif was so much fun, but he didn't play that much. Gerso was a nailed-on starter for 3 seasons?
Right.
Like Latif was really fun for that one summer.
Okay, now before I move on to the next category.
Hold on, I have a Latif Blessing story. Whenever we got him, whenever he arrived here, they were at like a hotel or wherever they were traveling, and he first discovered the soda pop dispensers, and that you could just go put a cup underneath one of these fountain drink things and get this absurdly delicious, sugary, fizzy drink. And he became obsessed with it, and the team had to be like, Latif, you got to chill out on the pop, man. Professional athletes don't suck it down like that, man. Okay,
classic.
He was very young when we got him, right? Wasn't he like 19 or something? Yeah.
And very, very, very raw. Very, very.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. He's
Ghanaian. Cody, do you know where
America.
Latif is now?
Let's see.
In this.
Okay, Robert doesn't want me to
sorry,
answer
guys.
that.
Sorry.
He was protecting me. No, I don't know where he went after LA if he's not there anymore.
New England? Or maybe he just left.
Houston, yes, I believe it was New England.
Oh, and then Houston?
All right. So in this ranking, I am not including current players like Willie Agata, Radia, Eric Tommy, anything like that.
William Agata.
Okay.
William upon first reference.
I will mention that William has a 0.725 per 90, so just above Mr. Pulido. All right, so moderately successful, same category as yours. So you guys are going to give me crap about this, but I'm ready for it. Nicholas Ismat Marin.
That's a good name.
Sure.
All right. All right. Whoa. Okay. I expected more feedback on that.
I mean,
Remy Voltaire in the moderately successful category.
Yeah.
Okay.
If your metric is trophies won, which I think is a flawed metric, then Remy is not as successful. But Remy, for large parts of his tenure, was the best player on the team. Like the most informed player consistently.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to give some stats, and you're going to tell me who this player is. I'm going to be Thad here for a bit. Won Open Cup 2017, has a per 90 as a sporting player of 0.90. Who am I talking about?
I don't know. All I can hear is the freaking commercial that's playing in the mystery background.
It's your schizophrenia.
Any guesses?
I'll say Namath.
No.
Good guess.
Christian was at 0.63, by the way. Diego Rubio, 0.9.
Oh, wow.
He's the highest per 90 of any player that's on this list.
And it feels like he has the highest per 90 against Sporting Kansas City, too. It seemed like the dude scored every time we played against him after that.
We need that as a mic stat.
What was his flops per 90?
Yeah, I didn't get that one.
Yeah.
Dom Dwyer is your median player. Was he above or below Dom in flopping?
Tom was not median. No way on diving.
Yeah.
All right,
Tom was in
moderately
the top 10.
Successful. Agree or disagree? Alan Pulido.
No, not even moderately successful.
I'll agree.
If you
Killed my club.
If you account for the salary below, if you just talk about on-field performance, moderately successful.
Got to account for the salary. Killed my club.
All right, Sony Mustavar.
Below.
Yeah. Yes, below.
He was a solid rock in that holding midfield for a little while, guys.
I'm getting really
not
depressed.
very long though.
This list is depressing me. I like reflecting on all these names, but this game we're playing is just depressing me.
My favorite part about remembering Sony Mustavar is that was Hoops 1.0.
Oh, yeah.
And that was like a truly classic kit.
Yeah.
All right, moderately successful. Felipe Gutierrez.
I'd say more than moderately successful.
Another two-stinter. Yeah, he's above.
19 goals, 9 assists, and 63 appearances. I couldn't find his minutes.
He was a monster. When he was healthy, he was an absolute monster.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you
arguably better than Pulido. Like just a better player than Pulido, I mean.
I don't remember watching Preki play. Felipe is, in my opinion, the best player to ever wear the shirt.
Oh, that's what I was saying.
Second best behind Benny.
I thought, didn't you say earlier that Pulido was better?
I said those guys are the conversation. Pulido,
yeah.
Preki, and Felipe Gutierrez to me are the three that are in contention for like best to ever wear the shirt.
Felipe
most talented to ever wear the shirt.
Number one, Preki.
Felipe did the greatest thing I have ever seen a Sporting KC player do. One single play, but it was in training. It was a scissor kick, overhead kick kind of thing, and I was like, that's the greatest we've ever had. Like, we've never had someone that can do that. And it was only in training.
Yeah, I guarantee you Preki couldn't do that.
That tried to tell you guys, I fall in love in training really hard. I see one play, and I'm like, yes, let's do it.
All right, last one in the moderately successful category is Andre Ofantis.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to successful to legend category.
Holy shit, does anyone
Keep
even
in
on
mind,
this
successful to legend.
Iliad.
Successful to legend.
Yeah,
okay,
there's
there is a difference between those two terms. First name is going to cause a lot of controversy. Claudio Bieler.
That was
successful.
That was pre 2014.
No, he was on the team at 2014.
Under what metric?
0.56 per 90, and he won MLS Cup. And he was the guy who you needed a goal, he scored. We never would have won, made it through the playoffs if it wasn't for Claudio Bieler.
Yes, that's very true.
I do remember him scoring that goal against Houston in the playoffs.
And I also remember, good job, David. He lost his starting spot to the guy that scored that goal against Houston.
All right. Successful to legend, Aurelian Collin.
Oh, God, yes. Again, that's not a transfer after 2014, but yeah.
Well, he played during the team during that time.
Legend, absolute legend. I'll never forget that header in MLS Cup. It was one of the greatest things I've ever seen.
That was. I will always remember that.
I thought the game was over. We were being beaten. It didn't look like we had a chance. And just the great equalizer, baby. Set piece, corner kick. Colin gets up there. Man, what a vibe. Our team used to be fun.
Cody, are you forgetting about his PK, man?
Oh, yeah. Yes. He was like, everyone on the team thought he was the worst PK taker there was. And then he stepped up and drilled it into the side netting like a champ.
All right, Christian Nemeth. Successful to legend. I mean, 0.63 per 90, guys. And goal of the year, 1 year. Slalom one.
So
killed Diego Rubio on that play.
So no, not successful to legend. You have to put him one category below. He had an amazing one season, and just like breaking ankles left and right in Portland is an all-time highlight reel. But he had one season, and then second time around was not any good.
If we're talking S tier, I'd put him at A. Because like S, A, B.
I don't understand.
Okay.
Sorry if you guys don't understand that.
I got you.
I want to call him a legend just for that 1 year and that one goal.
Successful to legend, Gary Kinda.
No.
Definitely successful.
His per 90 is on par with Nemeth.
But not legend.
Yeah.
Not legend.
Well, yeah, successful though. He was a successful foreign signing.
This is such a broad category. The difference between like, yeah, he was a good player. I'm glad we spent the money on him. And like, this man should have like, is a legend. Should have a statue. Well, I mean, my God.
Fair. Yeah, that's
why
the problem.
I labeled it.
Do I need to? I was just going off of the word legend, but do I need to change my system here? Or like,
yes.
Or if you're saying legend, does that mean this person belongs on the wall?
I'm trying to invite controversy, Cody. Cody, you want controversy, man.
Is this
I'm doing
guy,
it for you.
Is the question just like that? He's a ledge, man.
Are they wall, stained glass, or statue material?
See, that's the better game. Good job, Carrie. That means you've been listening for a long time. If you know the stained glass reference, I appreciate that. Robert,
all right. Well, this next one then will invite some talk. Paulo Nagamura, successful to legend.
Legend. Just for in this game we keep talking about in that MLS Cup. He had a triple fist pump after he nailed that PK. The greatest fist pump I have ever seen in my life. Nags, legend.
And you remember the bloody bandage?
Yes, yes. Oh God, great that.
Nagamura
3 cups.
And Nagamura and like Roger defined what it meant to be a sporting player. Like they were not our most skilled guys, but they were so tough and like just never gave up, never quit. I never once watched Paulo Nagamura play and thought, man, that guy's really loafing it. We should sub him off. It was this guy might die on the field. He's so tired.
This guy
but I never for a second was like, that guy took a play off.
And one of the top probably 2 or 3 quotes I've ever gotten from a player, I asked him like how ready he was to come play for Kansas City, and he responded with, I have the tiger in my eye.
Yes, that's great.
Love it.
All right,
and of course,
Robert,
David,
you got me back.
Where was Paulo from, David? Where was Paulo from?
He's from Brazil.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
Robert, you got me back.
All right, now.
You brought me back with the
you mentioned Roger Espinosa. I'm not counting players who played college ball in the U.S. as a foreign signing, so just be aware of that.
Are you counting Hussein?
All right, successful to legend. I think you can probably name the next 2 players that I'm going to name that have not yet been named. Carrie, I'll ask you. Speaking of stained glass.
Oh my God! Do you guys know where Juan?
Spit it out.
Hold on. Do you guys know where Juan Kuzain plays right now?
Illinois.
God damn it, Carrie. No one knows the answer to this. He's in St. Louis.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, is he still with St. Louis?
St. Louis City 2 was his last place of playing, but I don't think he played much last year, if at all.
Wow. Okay.
All right, Carrie, Ilie Sanchez. Successful to legend.
Legend. If anyone on the show says not, that he's the one that started the stained glass conversation.
He's why we have the Catalan Cafe.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
And last but not least, Johnny Russell.
Okay. All right. I am more confident now. That was a fun list. Johnny is a legend. I don't care what any of you have to say.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thad, is there anybody I missed? Any name that I missed that I should have mentioned?
Well, if your cutoff was 2014, I don't think so. because I was waiting to see if you're going to mention Kai in there because kind of, but not.
Right. He left the club in 2013. Yeah,
he did. Plus, he was from Sierra Leone, but he grew up here.
Right.
So
yeah,
it's Stefan Avray. He also left in 2011, 2012. Was one of the most interesting players.
Wait, what about Jordy Cantia?
Legend.
Wow, you forgot
Jake.
Jordan.
I did have him on the list.
I thought you mentioned him
early.
on
the list. Yes.
No, you had Tony Dovalli. They're not the same person.
I wasn't sure where would you guys categorize Jordy, because he had a great moment, but
Jake, I go.
I don't know.
That makes him a legend. Jake, I go makes him a legend.
He gets a corner of a stained glass.
You're a legend.
Yeah, agreed.
All right, fair enough.
Where do we put Jake Peterson?
The answer. Would that be stained glass worthy?
I say he's legendary.
United States. Robert, your metrics are so peculiar.
From Illinois too.
The
Daniel
answer?
Shalhoub doesn't count, even though he was born and raised in Hungary, and is
but they've been telling him he was a homegrown, which is a joke for years.
But yes. Roger Espinoza, who was born in Honduras and was a Honduran international.
But he wasn't a foreign signing. He was drafted in the MLS draft. Come
David,
on.
it's Robert's game. If you don't like it, make your own game. Come to me with the content like this, and then we can rip you apart.
What about Benny Feilhaber? He was foreign born. He was an outside signing. Admittedly, not 2014, but
he played for the U.S. men's national team. We can't do that.
Exactly.
Before we signed him.
Right.
I'm just trying to understand the metrics.
They're odd metrics, okay? But this was a really fun game. I'm really happy we did that.
Yeah. This is not the most professional game-making company that we have ever had in the world here. I mean, trust me, I've thrown games out there.
I don't know if it was a game anyway, but okay.
Well,
let's throw out some names, though, that Thad may have wanted to throw out. Craig Rocastle. We all remember the legend of Craig Rocastle, right? Yeah,
I do.
Remember
Carlos Marinelli.
Do you know he's a cop now?
What?
Is he really?
Yeah, I think in Topeka or Wichita, I forget. But I think it's Topeka, somewhere west of Topeka, I think.
Jefferson. Don't forget Jefferson. 2011.
Brazilian DP.
Hey, this guy had 0.5 per 90. Birahim Diop.
Oh, Diop.
2010.
Diop games.
Love a good Diop reference.
Julio Cesar.
I remember that name.
Yeah. Claudio Lopez, also a 0.52 per 90. 2008, 2009. And then Omar Bravo, of course, our original DP signing.
There you go. Deep cuts there at the end.
And Omar Bravo went back to Chivas at some point too, didn't he?
I believe so.
Federico Basone.
Another good one.
Sounds like a bad instrument.
Isn't that
not quite a bassoon?
A bassoon. Yeah. Okay.
What are you watching, Carrie?
I'm looking at Wikipedias for players. I'm looking at Nagamura's Wikipedia.
Find the fist
No, Wikipedia. I was thinking back to his stoppage time equalizer, and then he scored again after that.
Yes, the Vancouver game. The
I was
comeback against Vancouver. Oh,
I was trying to think what game it was, so I was looking to see if Wikipedia had it.
Oh man, one of my favorite memories of Sporting KC was that Vancouver game.
But before we stop, guys, we would be remiss not to mention a man who has been on this show more than once, a man who we hung out at a bar with at one point.
Got it.
Jimmy Nielsen.
Yes. The white
bust.
Puma.
Total bust. Worst player we've ever signed.
I think he
2010 to 2013.
Dang, Robert, I wish you would have told me you were gonna have a Jimmy Nielsen reference. I have so many sounders from all the episodes that he did with us. Cause that dude was gold every time he was on. We got the best stories we've ever had. I've got some of those stories saved. I'll whip those out again. We haven't played that audio in years.
You look good, Thad.
Was that what about Thad that you had, the sounder?
Yeah.
I love Jimmy.
That just turned real red.
Okay, so Robert, put a bow on this for us. Does looking at all of these signings over the last decade, does that inspire any confidence in you as we embark on this rebuild over the next few windows?
Well, I mean, you got to admit, if you take out injuries, Sporting has done a pretty good job with their foreign signings in recent years, if you take out injuries. But, they've got to research that injury history a little bit better, maybe.
In all fairness, like some of these guys we were also like taking flyers on, right? Like,
yeah,
right.
Madronda was actually the example of why you sometimes take a flyer on somebody, because we went down to sign somebody else and they saw him in training and they're like, yeah, sure, we'll sign this guy. And Jimmy didn't play much for the first like 2 or 3 years that he was signed to the club, and then out of nowhere became like a pretty decent player. You take a guy like Christian Lobato who came up through Barcelona and you're like, yeah, sure. But he wasn't signed to be a starter, right? So like when you're, trying to evaluate how good or bad some of these guys were, like Peterson Joseph wasn't signed to be like a starting caliber player. And if he developed into one, great. But
right.
I look at missing on him way different than I look at like, if you want to call Alan Pulido a bust, like they're to me very different signings.
Or even John East, somebody like that.
Mm-hmm.
Very different signings.
Peterson Joseph was also kind of an injury. He was actually playing really well, if I remember right. I think it's him. So if I'm wrong, I greatly apologize. But I think he's the one that had developed like a heart murmur or something.
Yeah,
and,
that sounds right.
And Sporting said, we can't play you.
Yeah,
we won't take that risk. And he left. And at one point they parted ways after they worked with him for like a year. And they parted ways, and like he was gone for a couple of years. Then he did finally go somewhere else and play. But I don't think anywhere major, but I think places where they just didn't care if they killed players.
Robert, you were mentioning the injuries. Undeniably, that has been a problem. I'm not chalking that up to something that they're doing wrong, maybe other than looking at the injury history like you mentioned. But that culminated in the most recent signing that I don't think we even mentioned here, Joaquin Fernandez, who showed up injured.
Half of them
He was the first, though.
He was injured.
Did we see
when
Nicholas
he got
Hassler?
What is his goals per 90?
No, I think it was his sense of
goals per 90.
direction that was the issue, Cody. His sense of direction.
Right.
He's at
Hold on,
-5.
Yeah.
Robert, did you say Nico Hassler?
No.
He was a Liechtenstein international.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good to know. Thank you, David.
Well, I'm just saying he played for us in 2019.
In what year?
Something like that. 2019, maybe?
With a question mark?
Yeah, that was a big
I
one.
don't remember. Time is a that's the year my kids were born. That was all a blur.
Yeah, he was pretty decent. I mean, nothing spectacular, but he was one of the best players to ever come out of Liechtenstein.
All right. We are going to take another break and then come back and wrap things up. All right. Robert, thank you for that. That was a lot of fun. Let's talk a little.
No problem.
Let's talk a little about the Current. The Current are doing things currently. Carrie, they just signed a Long.
Yes, they did. Mary Long, one of the kids. I mean, we knew this day was coming. We just didn't know when. She reclassified for Duke 2 years ago, so she had her freshman year this past season, and then I'm sure that the Duke head coach retiring probably pushed us a little faster, but end of the day, the Longs did build this team for her.
Yeah, honestly, you might be right about that.
They signed 3 total players out of college since there's no NWSL draft anymore.
That's just
Mary
to
Long
mask,
was one of them.
That's just to mask their master plan. I like conspiracies now. Can you guys tell?
I know, that's taking over the show, almost like it's kidnapping. But I have seen Mary Long. She's practiced with the team for a couple years, and she's held her own in practice. It's not like she was overwhelmed. Like, she's not capable of playing at that level. And being that she's still 17, she does have that potential to grow into a better player. So we can, obviously she was never going to go sign for another team unless she got drafted out of college, and they sunk that chance. But that's not like she's a total, like, waste of time as a signing.
No, I think she's still one of the top in the country. She was top in whatever division Duke is in. I don't know my college.
Yeah. She didn't score a lot for him, but that's because she was off playing with the youth national team.
Yeah. And she did.
How does she compare to Timwa?
Nobody compares to Timwa. Timwa gets a stained glass and a statue.
Wow.
Yeah, and she's doing great work back in her community. Yeah. That was lovely to see on the current social media recently. Love Timwa. Can't beat her.
Her sister posted a picture of her, and she was wearing the "I was there when Tamara Chewinga scored an own goal." Or the river goal.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm so happy that I got to see that she is wearing her shirt.
Wait,
I was there.
Can I buy that shirt? I wasn't, but I want that shirt.
Not anymore, I don't think.
No, you had to be part of their ticket club or something to get it, I think.
Oh, really? Wow, that's cool. I'm glad they did that.
I got to see the ball. I took a picture of the ball. They went and got it out of the river. If the Current ever open a museum, they will have that in there.
All right, so Thad, how does she compare to like Alex Pfeiffer in your mind?
It's hard to make that comparison since I have not seen them in training camp a ton together.
Yeah.
But, I think Pfeiffer's a little bit better. They're a little bit different player. Pfeiffer, I think, is really great off the wing, where Long kind of floated a little bit wide, then coming in from what I watched with the national team. I didn't watch her in college, but a couple of highlights. So,
okay.
Again, I think she's a worthy signing. I made those same jokes that they just started a team so they could eventually sign her. So I'm not really surprised. I made those same jokes when they started the team, but it's having watched her, she's been really good. She's also had every single opportunity that you could possibly ever have for training and coaching, and may have heard rumors that she was taking flights out to California to play in games with a youth team out there.
Ooh.
Good for her, right? Yeah. If I was as wealthy as the Longs, I would throw open every door for my kids too. But in all fairness to her, she just played a season of Division I soccer at 17,
right?
And it's the U.S. Youth International. Like she doesn't suck,
right? And you can complain that she had every chance that every other player didn't, or almost every other player didn't. But at the same time, if you're going to sign a player, you want them to be good. So, from what I can tell, the 3 college players they signed today are all worth having been signed.
I should also note that Mary Long is 5'10", which adds to height, and we do not have height on that team.
That's good. I'll take that.
We also signed defender Katie Scott from I lost it. And then Claire Gagne.
Gagne?
Gagne? Is that how you say it?
I don't know, but that's how I would say it. Scott played for Penn State. Katie Scott played for Penn State.
Right, yep.
Yes.
If you look at some of the highlights, she's like scoring goals even though she's a defender. I think she played midfielder and wing at times for them, but she's mainly an outside back. And
she was also on the U17 World Cup team.
Yep.
And then Claire Gagne, is that how you say it?
That's how I'm going with it.
That's better than what I said.
That's how an old hockey player went by that name. So
she just won the Women's Cup for NCAA with
North Carolina.
Yes.
Yeah, that's Gagne, like Eric Gagne. Wasn't that a baseball player? That's definitely how.
He was a closer for the Dodgers and was all roided out.
Oh yeah, that's right.
As far as I know, no relation.
All right. Any other thoughts on the Current? Did we miss anything with them? I couldn't find the shirt. I've been sitting here searching, and at one point it looked like it was in the team store, but it's not anymore.
All right.
Okay. Wait, what?
I was just gonna say preseason starts like next week.
Oh yeah, we're getting close.
With no signings.
Well, I was talking for Current, but
oh, sorry. No, they're going to be
Current starts next week too. Wow.
I think so.
It's like next week or very soon.
Players are saying their goodbyes to sunny Hawaii and probably regretting.
They are. So it's to get above freezing when? What?
Saturday.
Is it Saturday? Okay.
What about the Comets? I know they had a game canceled, postponed.
Yeah, it was rescheduled. It was the highlight of the non-blizzard, as Robert thinks of it. But it would have been suicidal to have a bunch of fans headed that way at the same time.
Yeah.
But Milwaukee, did come into town, so they made it all the way to town, and then they said, "Yeah, psych, we're not playing." But St. Louis also had the same issue. They canceled the game, postponed the game for the same reason.
Well, hopefully no one's headed to LA for a match.
God, our world is what a world we live in right now.
Yeah.
It's literally on fire.
Okay. So unrelated to Kansas City soccer, and this was a couple weeks ago, but did anybody see the NCAA men's College Cup final?
I did surprisingly see some of that.
So like it was Vermont versus Marshall, both just absolute powerhouse clubs. But Vermont was unseeded. Like they were not ranked. And so they were down 1-0 in the 81st minute, score a goal to level it, and then score again in the 95th. It was just wild. And you can find videos of it online, and it's worth watching because it's hilarious. But they celebrate as if they were a group of people who did not believe they belonged there and somehow won.
And the KU ladies also got a win too. Didn't they? Right? Didn't they win that tournament? Oh, that was Big 12.
They won the Big 12.
They won the Big 12 here. That's right.
Yeah.
That I did.
UMKC men made a great run.
Yes.
They made it through to the 16 before losing. Real quick,
Before we gloss over the rest of the current, Claire Hutton and Michelle Cooper made Emma Hayes' U23 team or camp for January. The Futures camp.
Yep.
So
U23, but the Futures.
Yeah.
Is that how they avoid it being called Camp Cupcake? If they're just like, no, it's actually youth players.
Well, they have both.
Yeah.
They're bringing 50. They're bringing 50 players all together. They have their A team and they have their U23.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Jake Davis didn't even make Camp Cupcake.
Yeah, a little disappointing in that. But for the women though, they're actually going to train at 2 different times, so Emma can be there for both.
Got to get a look at all the players. That's what the point of these January camps are for, right?
Yeah. And they have some of the regular starters on the first team for the women, but a lot of like the triple espresso forwards are not going to be there. Lynn Williams dropped out today because of a hamstring.
Rose Lavelle's getting surgery.
Yeah. So even that roster has a lot of players that are getting their first look for real. So she's taking a look at a lot of players.
Which is a little disappointing that Claire Hutton is just on the Futures camp. Yeah. She definitely deserved to be on that senior roster team.
Yeah,
I agree.
It seems like she'll get there before too long. What?
She will.
My God, I just forgot the name you just said. Who's having surgery and why is she having surgery?
Rose Lavelle. Yeah, that was listed in the updates. Just minor ankle surgery to clear some things up. That's all that was listed. This was a surprise to Gotham fans as well.
Yeah, she was still playing. She played in the final and all that stuff, and everybody thought she was fine. But
okay, David has entirely checked out. The KU game is getting him down to the wire here, so he's just not even looking or listening anymore.
I was listening. I did not. As soon as the Current lost, I stopped watching the NWSL playoffs. So I don't know what Rose Lavelle did or didn't do because the games didn't exist. Much like we didn't play at Arrowhead.
Okay, well, I'm very sorry.
You do 2 things at once, Cody. I'm a very talented man.
I'm very sorry to our listeners if the audio in the background made this difficult to listen to. I apologize for that. Carrie refused to turn it off. I don't know whether we're going to have to fine her for that. We're going to have to figure this out. Carrie, I want you to message me after this. We're going to close this, and you're going to be like, oh, there's that tab that I didn't know that was playing.
I'm looking at 3 tabs. The Paulo Nagamura tab, Wikipedia, the Shades of Blue rundown, and StreamYard.
Are your headphones like Bluetoothed into something? I don't know. I need to figure this out. We're going to figure this out. But any final thoughts here, Thad? Do you have something prophetic for us, perhaps? The best times are when I catch him off guard on that. That's why I don't ask every episode, because then he'd have one ready. Now I threw him off guard.
I know. There's times I do have one ready, and then you don't ask, and I forget it. So, but I have been really grateful for just having not a lot of soccer that I had to absolutely pay attention to the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, me too.
And got to spend time with family. The daughter came over during the so blizzard, as Robert would think, and hung out. So just got to do a lot of family time, and that's why I wasn't responding to Slack messages and shit like that till today for the most part. I just literally turned on the computer for the first time this morning.
A lot of good family time. Thad, did your daughter make it back to my neighborhood today? She was at your house the whole time, but did she make it back today?
She did, and then left again, and she had rehearsal tonight, so she came back over here, went there. I don't know where she's at right now.
Well,
I know
I answered your question to me very quickly about how the roads were, and then when I got back and looked at them again, I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have said that our roads are perfect. So I hope I didn't cause any problems by saying that we were good. I said it was drivable. My Civic and my roommate's older Civic were making it, so I figured most other cars could do it.
I figured it was drivable. I was just more worried about parking, because if they plow the snow over, there may not be a place you can pull your car over to park.
Yeah, I would hope or assume another plow is going to come at some point. Like, it's not just 12 inches untouched on our street, but there is a lot of
So
snow.
you too, huh? We're waiting for the same thing.
Yeah. I wasn't on our street. I was in our alley, which legitimately was just 12 inches of snow. It was a little treacherous leaving my house for the first time today.
But remember, 12 inches of snow does not count as a blizzard.
All right. Everyone, thank you for listening, and I apologize for the audio if you can hear that audio. And we'll be...
I want to know. I want to know, man. Can you hear it? After this is over, you got to message us if it's on the recording.
I haven't heard anything.
I haven't heard a thing either.
Okay. It's gone. It's been there and then it's been off for sections.
These are always the best episodes because this happens all the time with Cody, where he's like, "I hear something," and none of the rest of us hear it.
I've never remembered this.
So he's just blaming me now.
Either Cody has the best ears of all time, which is entirely possible.
I do.
Cody's
probably the case.
He's a wonderful person.
I got a good sniffer too.
Or Cody needs to see it like a psychiatrist.
Yeah.
That's not mutually exclusive.
It's
fair enough. Hey, I do have one thing, because Thad, you are taking applications for number 9. I do know of somebody who has a proven goal scorer with his head. Kansas City native, could probably be a homegrown.
I like where this is going. Say more
I
nice
think
things.
Cody's available.
Yes.
I think Cody's available.
Yeah, but is he on side?
Only VAR can tell us.
Always on side. And I'm getting in shape too. I just started a league at the soccer lot. It got canceled on Tuesday, but first game will be next week.
Yeah, those 20 feet runs are very comparable.
Dude, short-sided field and the short, tiny goals, but man, you get out there, it'll drag you. I'm telling. It's like same thing as like a basketball court. It's not easy to play basketball, sprinting and cutting like that nonstop, and it's kind of the same gameplay. Love Soccer Lot. Do you know who owns the Soccer Lot? Who just like recently bought the Soccer Lot? No.
You?
Well,
David.
Well, sorry, I was trying to Google really quick because now I can't think of. It's a Duke, one of the Duke brothers, not Cameron Duke. What's his brother? The older one. Christian Duke and one other guy own the Soccer Lot now.
Oh, nice.
We should have them on the pod and see if they want to sponsor us.
Yes, I'm literally one step ahead of you on that, actually.
That'll be a gimme. Yeah.
Or Johnny's
Christian's
Tavern.
Christian's a really good guy. He's
a
really good player. Super had a tremendous amount of heart. If other players that had potentially more skill played with his heart, they would have been superstars. Not going to mention his brother's name.
His dad did. He was a good.
I know.
He was a good captain for SPR.
Yeah.
He was exactly what you want in a captain.
Yeah. Okay. We're gonna get out of here. Long show. I thought all we had to talk about was Alan Pulido. We ended up going an hour and a half. So thank you. I hope an hour and a half of just background music and commercials that we were listening to.
Was a long show pun intended?
Oh yeah, good. Wow, I didn't even unintended, but thank you for that, Pat. All right, we will be back next week. We'll talk to you then. Sporting.
Is that noise coming from the guy in your closet?
Don't seem so tough, and 3 own goals ain't all that rough. Our skipper has just been sent off. Supporters strong have all gone soft. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking. Give me beer or whiskey, wine or gin, anything to shake this mood I'm in. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking.